Buyers, here's what you can expect during a home inspection. Buying a home is one of the biggest investments you're going to make in your life. Although this may have been popular and a trend in the past, I do not recommend skipping your home inspection. Today I'm going to guide you on what to expect during a home inspection, and I'll share a comprehensive checklist that can save you from costly surprises. Hi, I'm Vittoria Logli, your trusted realtor, and today we're going to explore the ins and outs of the home inspection, why it's essential, and the key areas of the home you should focus on. I've noticed that many of you that watch my channel and watch my videos aren't subscribed yet, so please consider hitting that subscribe button. And be sure to watch throughout the video, because I'm going to share some crazy inspections that are required in various states of the country. First, let's start by defining what a home inspection really is. A home inspection is a thorough, non-invasive visual examination of a property designed to identify potential issues before closing a sale. Kind of like a colonoscopy of a home. And if something is uncovered during the inspection, here's your chance to negotiate with the home seller for either repair or some type of credit that then you can use to make the repair. And if major flaws are revealed or you feel uncomfortable, here's your chance to get out of the sale. And in our area here, we have a standard real estate contract that we use. And in paragraph 12A, line 166, it specifies, and when requesting repairs, you can only focus on major components, things like heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, and roof, and foundation. These systems must be safe and working for their intended purposes. And please keep in mind that age alone doesn't count as a defect. So just because something is ending its useful life, but it's still functioning, that doesn't count as an actual defect. Minor repairs and cosmetic updates or maintenance typically don't qualify for inspection repair requests. And if buyers ask for repairs outside of these contractual terms, it gives the seller a basis to be able to cancel the contract. Now remember, this is specifically for Illinois, and every state could be different on what the rules and regulations are within home inspections. So check with your local attorneys or local realtors to find out what the laws are in your specific area. Now here are some quick facts about home inspections. The buyer is responsible for the cost of the inspection, which means they own the inspection. And unless specifically requested by the seller or seller's attorney, the sellers don't get a copy of the inspection. And the inspection can typically take anywhere between 2 to 4 hours, and it's super important for you as a buyer to actually be present during the inspection. And again, depending on your area, the average core inspection is typically between $400 and $800. And this can vary with the size and number of bedrooms and bathrooms and general location of a home. And additional inspections such as radon or a sewer scope can add on to the cost of the inspection. Fun fact, in southern states and even southern Illinois, termite inspections are required. Here in northern Illinois, it's not a requirement unless you have an FHA or VA loan. And typically after the inspection, you will receive a full report within 24 hours. And there is a clause in the contract called the home inspection contingency that allows buyers to cancel the sale or negotiate repairs. I would definitely ask your real estate agent to recommend a reputable home inspector. They often work with many trusted professionals. Sellers are not legally obligated to make repairs, but if buyers request reasonable repairs, it's often in the seller's best interest to actually make those repairs. And if during the inspection a material defect is uncovered, then the seller either has to repair the material defect or disclose it to any future buyers. And understanding what the inspector is looking for can help you ask informed questions. And no question is a dumb question. Fun fact, in New York City, home inspections might come with an unexpected guest check. Bedbug and cockroach inspections are very routine in New York City, and that's just city life for you, but not in Chicago. I'm about to dive into the home inspection checklist, and if you want a copy, click the link in the description. And here's a guide to help you understand exactly what home inspectors are looking for. First, they start with the grounds and the exterior structure. They look at the condition of the foundation of the home, and they look for any significant cracks. They make sure that all the windows are working and functional and locked properly. Oftentimes they'll get up on the roof or fly a drone over the roof to make sure that there's no missing or broken roof shingles. They're checking for proper drainage with gutters and proper gutter installation. And they're checking for proper grading or the slope of the earth to make sure that it's going away from the house as opposed towards the house so water doesn't infiltrate. And they're checking for conditions of porches, patios, and decks. They want to make sure there's no slanting, sloping, or settling. They're also checking all of the trees on the property, especially if they're really big, to make sure that they're all alive and that none of them are dead that could come down during a huge storm. And they'll identify any big branches that might be hanging over the house. And depending on where you live, oftentimes they'll do a sewer scope, which is where they run a camera to check to make sure that there's no blockage or damage that could lead to very costly future plumbing problems. And if you have a brick home, they're checking to see if there's any cracking or mortar missing. And if you have a home that's made of stucco eaves or what they call drive-it, then you may want to have a separate inspection that checks for moisture. They're also looking at the chimney on top of the house to make sure that there's no cracking and to make sure that there's a chimney cap. Now let's head into the basement. They're checking for no water or moisture or damage to the home's foundation. They're checking to make sure that the sump pump, battery backup, and ejector pump are operational. And then they go up into the attic to make sure that there's no staining in the rafters that could be considered mold. They're checking for good ventilation and insulation that's properly installed. Obviously, it's going to be impossible to remember all the items on this list. Feel free to print a copy and to bring it with you. But an inspector will also have a checklist that they follow. And they check all of the bathrooms to make sure that there's no leaking or water damage under the sinks. You want to make sure that there's adequate water pressure and water temperature. The toilets need to be stable, sealed, and flush correctly. And that your vents are properly installed and lead outside and don't vent directly into the attic. With the kitchen, they want to make sure the garbage disposal is working and that the plumbing is operational and that there's no leaking under the sinks there as well. And they check each and every appliance and make sure that they're all functional and working. When they're checking the interior rooms, they're looking for stainings in the ceilings or walls. They want to make sure that the doors open and close properly and that all the locks work. They want to make sure that your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors work. That's super important and is considered a safety hazard if they're non-functional. This should be a non-negotiable no matter where you live. They'll typically open up the electric panel and make sure that everything is properly wired and that there's no exposed wires. And they're going to check the HVAC system. There's a little caveat to this. In the winter, they can't run the air conditioner. And in the summer, they can't really run the furnace. But they will definitely check the general condition of both systems regardless of the time of year. And if there happens to be a fireplace in the home, they want to make sure that it works and that the chimney is free and clear of creosote and that the damper opens and closes easily. After the home inspection, giving you a very detailed overview. This report is super detailed and it's an inspector's job to find every flaw or even something that could be a potential issues. Inspectors are generalists. They're not specialists. So oftentimes they might recommend that you get a certified plumber to come in and look at an issue or a certified electrician to look at a potential issue. And just because they recommend these other people to come in and take a look doesn't necessarily mean that there is something wrong. It's just something that they might not have been able to identify because, again, they're generalists and not specialists. The process of a home inspection can seem intimidating and overwhelming, but it'll help you to avoid hidden expenses that you didn't expect as a new home buyer. The home inspector and this report will give you valuable insights into your potential new home, and it'll ensure that you know what you're getting yourself into with this specific house. Please keep in mind that no house is perfect. All homes have issues, even brand new construction homes. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below. Thanks for watching.